I'm working on something to make sure that the Second Amendment rights for veterans is protected. If you're talking about the amendment I was going to offer this afternoon.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. Now, let me give you the parliamentary situation before I tell you what the amendment does.
Absolutely.
I have to ask unanimous consent to get my amendment up, and the Democrats have told me they're not going to give me unanimous consent to give it up because they don't want to vote on anything related to the Second Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's a crime when everybody on that side of the aisle, as well as my side of the aisle, say that they're going to support veterans the way veterans ought to be treated like everybody else and get the care they need. Now, the situation is this. You know, we have this when you commit a crime or something else, you get on a list at the FBI that says whether you can own a gun or not own a gun. So if you're a criminal, you can't buy a gun.
Yep.
And then there's people on there because they have mental health issues.
Yep.
Maybe only a small minority are on there because of mental health issues. But one way a veteran can get on that list not to buy a gun, even though he was probably a very brave soldier carrying a gun in Iraq or Afghanistan, is that if you can't handle your own finances, like you have to have your wife or a third party help you with your finances, then 99% of the veterans that have that issue are on this list of having mental health problems, so you can't buy a gun. In fact, almost 99% of the people that are on this list because of mental issues come from the VA, just because you got to have a third party. And that should not be an administrative decision. If you're going to be denied your Second Amendment rights, that should be made by a judicial determination. And just not automatically go to get your name so you can't buy a gun. So my amendment would make sure that any veteran with mental health issues that can't buy a gun, his name is on the list, not because he can't handle his finances, but because some judicial determination was made that he shouldn't handle a gun. And this, because these veterans that have these financial fiduciary problems, have a third party handle their guns, they're being denied their Second Amendment rights.
Absolutely. You need to explain something to me, Senator, because it's hard for me to understand, okay? So here we are. We've got Republicans in control of the Senate. You are chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Surely the leadership of the Senate gets to decide what amendments get to be brought up, don't they?
Well, yes, but when you've got all the amendments up under Robert's Rules of Order that you can take up, and there's not room for my amendment, then I got to take down one of those amendments, and make a determination that I can get my amendment up. And if you don't get unanimous consent, and any one senator can deny that to you, and I don't think any Republican would have guts enough to deny that to you, but the Democrats don't want to vote on guns. They don't want to change any of this stuff. See, if I actually got my amendment up, the Democrats would have to vote for it, because it's ridiculous that veterans, just because they need some help with their finances, can't buy guns after they were on the battlefield shooting the same guns, or almost the same guns.